Hello everyone, welcome to Xiao Yang's movie channel. Today I'm bringing you a horror movie. It's rare for Frank not to work overtime, so I bought a bottle of red wine. Prepare to surprise your wife. Who knows just arrived at the door. He heard his wife's ups and downs again. The picture is so beautiful. Frank takes one more look and goes into cardiac arrest. He can't wait to rush in and slap the dog man and woman. But reason told him, 1 to odds are not too high. In the end, Frank had to leave. Did not vent the dissatisfaction in my heart. For the first time in his life, he went to a strip club to spend money. Center of the dance floor, Penny Wu's flaming red lips are incredibly sexy. Penny's active attack. Frank almost couldn't hold it back. Frank is deeply involved in Penny's tender town. Little did he know that he was a master at stealing credit cards and cashing out. After Penny succeeded, she went to the small room next door. You have to split the accounts with the boss. The boss feels at a disadvantage, forced to match your meat growth. The two had an argument over this. Frank heard Penny screaming from the room. Very worried. 2 little guys fighting like crazy in his head. One makes him a hero to save beauty. One told him to mind his own business. Facing his wife's infidelity, he has been cowardly once. Can't back down this time. After intense ideological struggle, Frank turned back to the club. Broken in. The boss is pinned down by the door panel and can't move. Frank held him fast. Picked up the pistol on the table, threatening the boss to let Penny go. The boss didn't believe in evil at first. Think Frank doesn't have the guts to shoot. In anger, Frank shot his boss in the hand. It's for real. The boss who bullies the soft and fears the hard compromises instantly. Penny, who escaped from prison, holds the safe in front of the clock. Elope with Frank in a car. Fear of retaliation from the boss. The two switched to a used car halfway through. A known journey. Own adventure. The relationship between the two quickly warmed up. After an in-depth exchange, the two are honest and unfair. Frank made up his mind to throw away the wedding ring. Start over with Penny. Penny also confessed to Frank. Stealing your own credit card. Although Penny's motives last night were impure. But Frank is in love. Or did the speed of light forgive him? After restarting, they met the sheriff and checked the car. Worried that the gun would only be found, Penny uses beauty to confuse the sheriff's vision. Sure enough, it is justice. Before the sheriff leaves, give Penny a business card. No matter what trouble you encounter, you can call him anytime. The sheriff also kindly reminded the two of them, no signal for the next 30 kilometers. There is no gas station, but 12 kilometers ahead. There is a motel with gas. After obtaining useful information, accompany you to step on the accelerator and walk away. At the same time, on the other side of the road, Molly's car had a flat tire. Have to stop on the road. And here's the thing, the phone doesn't receive any signal. In the tomb of the village and the store. Ride like an ant on a hot pan. Just then, there's a trailer in the back. Driver Clive. Go to the street and ask what trouble Molly is in. After understanding the situation, Clive offered to change his tires. Molly is cautious, on the grounds that there is no spare tire in the trunk, refused the other party's kindness. However, Clive opened the trunk. Found a spare tire inside. He got it. Molly must be afraid he's the bad guy. So dare not ask for help. Clive told Molly. We can tow him to the motel. You can fix cars there. It can be fixed as soon as tomorrow. There's no better way. Molly had to agree. On the way, Clive said that if I were the bad guy, you must not be safe in the car. The original purpose of the heart is 7 up and 8 down. He got even more scared when he said this. Seeing that Jasmine is easy to bully, and Clive began to act dishonestly. Wretched touching Jasmine's big white legs. This move made Molly's legs tremble. Upon arrival at the hotel, he took advantage of Clive's absence. Contact your father on a landline. The two agreed to meet at the hotel tomorrow morning. Coincidentally, Molly's father. It's the president of Chapinis just now. Frank and Penny are on their way to the hotel. Met a man dressed all in white. A man stands in the middle of the road and stops their car. He said his car broke down. I hope the two of them will give him a ride. Helping strangers is risky. Penny is witty. He pulled out the card the sheriff had given him. Said it was difficult to find the police. At this moment, the two did not know. This man is the owner of the motel. Not long after, Penny and Frank arrive at their destination. At this time, Jeff Beard and Clive are removing the body. I saw two people appear. The bearded man quickly hid the body in the back of the car. Penny and Frank are blinded by love. I didn't see anything. In the evening, the bearded man begins to cook dinner. He dragged the bodies he had hidden during the day into the freezer, then cut from the hanging naked female corpse. Have a leg down? On the way to the kitchen, Jasmine just got out of the shower. I happened to see the crispy physique in the bearded hand. Molly was stunned. It turns out that this is a black shop that eats people. Guys are angry because Clive didn't inform him in advance. The room was occupied. Worried about exposure, Clive came to Molly's door to take a look. Molly tried to pretend that nothing had happened. Pushed the chair behind the door while coping. Clive didn't ask why. Left soon. Clive's wife, Blonde Ring, introduced Frank and Penny to the owner here. He has abilities. Move your fingers. You can make the stop train stop when it says stop. What the blonde sister said is amazing. What is the boss doing at this time? He has returned and sneak into Frank and Penny's room. Just check your passport. He also picked up Penny's pants and tattooed them all the time. Just when Frank questioned what the blonde said, the boss walked in. He said his grandfather was an overseer in the mine. Miners are criminals. And one day the mine collapsed. Grandpa and the criminals are all trapped down there. In the end, only his grandfather survived. He survived by eating those intoxicating organs. Shocked to hear that? But what the boss said next, more creepy. For centuries, their families continue the tradition of sign eaters. Think of it as the evolutionary world. Anyone who passes by this road, to the hotel, then sit at the table and confess. A man of little sin. He took a shot behind the ear. Eat the sinful one. Sometimes bosses commit crimes too. Therefore, he will also taste his own sins. The boss told Penny. He sold over 6,000 acres of land, but no one helped him spend the money. Besides, he has a house on the top of a hill. If you are interested in accompanying you. I got up and walked to the white car. He was waiting there. Under the temptation of price, Penny wavered. He ignored Frank's call. It is forbidden to go outside. Penny's betrayal broke Frank's heart. The golden-haired sister advised him to drink alcohol to relieve his worry. Frank is not in the mood. He punched the table and left angrily. And this wine was obviously drunk. Medicine, however. Frank's anger at the moment he entered the room vanished. Now Penny is lying sexy on the sofa. It was just a joke. He never got into the boss's car. Loved deep. The two studied physiology in bed. And such a beautiful drama. It was also clearly seen by the boss in the monitoring room. The woman you like. I'm having sex with someone right now. It must not taste good. Then the boss happened to see the footage of Molly calling the sheriff's father before. The boss is instantly angry. So I vented my emotions to Clive. The boss scolded him angrily. My own child is 3 months old. Why can't I control the salty pig's hands? I'm mad at you when you hear that, but shut up. My wife and I haven't slept together for 3 years. How are children made? The boss didn't answer. Instead, he hung up the phone with a guilty conscience. The next morning, the boss looks after the husband and the blonde sister, drive to the sheriff's must-pass. Find a way to get rid of people. Molly still doesn't know her father is in danger. Wait until Frank and Penny go to the restaurant for dinner. He sneaked into the back of their car. Beard and Frank. They drugged their coffee. But no two people can drink it. Mute wife with beard suddenly became restless. He kept pointing at the coffee on the table. He seems to be a good man. Realize that things may be exposed. Beard 1 does not do to non-stop. Just take out the real thing. Seeing this, Frank is not cowardly. Take out a pistol and confront it. Whoever looks tougher at times like this wins. Frank is slightly more imposing. See the bearded man lay down his weapon. Frank, take it away. Then Penny drove away from here. Clive's blonde sister successfully squatted down to the sheriff. To attract his attention. His blonde sister. There was a domestic abuse of the wife. The sheriff came forward and accused Clive. It's not men who hit women. But I didn't wait for him to finish speaking. The blonde sister attacked from behind. Shot the sheriff in the head. Soon the two received another order from the boss. Hunt Frank and Penny. Clive drives a police car. Penny didn't care. I thought it was still the enthusiastic sheriff I met before. Penny looks at the sheriff after parking. At the same time, the tough blonde sister makes a surprise attack and dragged Frank out of the car. The two have not had time to resist. He was knocked out. It doesn't look right. Jasmine in the back row rushed out, ran into the wilderness by the road. From the look on Clive's handover, he doesn't seem to want to kill this young girl. But the blonde lady is cruel and doesn't talk much, turned around and took a long gun from the car. Ki-kyung hits Jasmine. After completing the task, Clive dropped Frank off near the hotel. In a depleted cistern. Several corpses inside, all dried up by the scorching sun. Penny was put in a cell by the bearded man. The boss just got off the bus. I was with Sister Jinfa. Clive passed by and saw this scene. The whole person is green. Who is the father of the child? The answer is right in front of you. But because it's the boss, Clive had to endure. The boss didn't kill Frank. He lobbied him to join his own cult. Frank was clearly not interested. His main concern now is whether Penny is okay. Frank threatened the boss if something happened to Penny. I will never let you go when I go out. For such a threat, the boss is very much. You can't climb up if you're not Batman. And Penny's side, he also put on makeup because he was worried about Frank crying. The boss wants Penny to have a baby for herself. The result was a ruthless rejection. In the boss's opinion, Penny is a stripper. Lang makes money by selling his body. What does it matter if you sell it again? If you accompany you, the boss will be hurt very much. He said affectionately that if you allow, I can love you. Think about it tonight. Give me the answer tomorrow morning. Good guys play affectionate, right? Penny has seen too many men. He knew full well that Frank was the true love. Molly didn't wake up until night. He was devastated to see his father's body. But just then, he looked through the car window, saw Clive strangle the blonde with a rope. After being green for so many years, I finally let out a bad breath. Molly sat in the carriage in fear. However, Clive didn't want to hurt him. After apologizing, he let the person go. Then Clive found the cistern here again. He told Rang, I'm a person of faith. Believe that those who eat evil can evolve the world. But now it bothers him. He couldn't find out what crime Frank had committed at all. So he can't kill Frank. And he himself for killing his cheating wife. Must be punished. Then Clive jumped down. Strangled himself with a rope. That's it. Frank had to follow Clive's body up. Crawl. Penny doesn't want to sit still in the old house. He picked up a nail and hit it on his body, then launched a beauty offensive on the bearded man. The bearded man was quickly hooked up. He locked Penny's feet up, then unlocked the door and make out with him. Seeing the time is ripe, Penny stuck a nail in the bearded eye. Then Frank broke through the gate and rushed in. The blind bearded man was beaten to death by him. Mute woman by the side. Hurry up and call the boss. Hear Frank and Penny's voice. The boss knew something must have happened to the cell. Frank Penny drives away. The boss started casting spells after discovering the whereabouts of the person. Turn left, turn left, turn left. The car did turn left. The boss doesn't really think he has special characteristics. Special function bar, 50% chance of turning left. Boss gets what he wants. Then take a shortcut to the highway. And he does this really cool looking pose. Ready to give the two of them a little color to see. Frank slammed on the accelerator and rushed over. It's time to witness a miracle. The boss was pushed onto the front cover, hundreds of meters along the way. Finally fell and was run over by a car. The head is so iron. There must be an unbreakable body of King Kong. No, he doesn't. The biggest villain is going offline like this. It made me laugh. End of story. Jasmine hiding in the grass pissed on the boss's face. I was about to leave, but I found that I wasn't dead. This is easy to handle. Shoot a few shots in a row and completely ascend to the sky. Frank returning home. Did a cool things. Divorce your wife first. Then he hugged his wife's ex-husband. Frank Penny has a lover and is finally married. But the two don't know yet. Strip club owner seeks revenge. Have their eyes on them?